Hello, everybody. I am AngryBird. Welcome to a new Steel Division League cast today, and this one's a game between ReeF and Koyoko Kirigiri. This is actually from the Steel Division 2 Boot Camp Discord, and I believe this is the final of the Axis versus Allies tournament uh, for the newcomers, the new players to Steel Division 2, or the new players to the competitive scene in Steel Division 2. I'm also testing out some new audio, some new headphones, new microphone, new audio mixer that I purchased. It wasn't quite as expensive as I originally was anticipating. Amazon kind of screwed me over. You know what Amazon are like. They told me, so I originally ordered a Go XLR I guess audio interface, and they told me it was in stock, and they told me it was getting delivered, and then on the day of delivery it was mysteriously out of stock, which isn't surprising given the current climate, to be fair, but the fact that they told me it was in stock and I bought it and paid for it and now it's out of stock. Oh, and yeah, they put the price up, so great, Amazon, well done. So I actually spent much less on a very cheap uh, audio mixer to work with the new microphone, and we're going to see how it goes in today's cast. So we're going to get used to the levels on the microphone, and hopefully the audio works. Now you probably noticed that I sound different. Hopefully, I mean, hopefully that's a good thing. But I do have a feeling that it is going to pick up a lot more of the dog noise. But I know a lot of you like it. Hopefully it doesn't get annoying because you're going to hear a lot of whining, I'm sure. Right, let's get into the cast. So like I said, it's ReeF versus Kirigiri. This is the Axis versus Allies tournament in the Steel Division 2 Boot Camp. Let's have a look at ReeF's deck. He is on the left-hand side in blue, playing the 28th Jaeger on Vanguard income. So a lot of Jaeger infantry. And actually this, just to let you guys know, I believe this was played on the old patch. So this is a pre-Burning Baltics update, you know, pre-range changes, all that kind of stuff. Just so that you're aware. So, yeah, it's going to be lots of infantry, 104 units of infantry. We've got quite a few, 12 Stug 3Gs, 6 in A and 6 in B. Looks quite an aggressive deck, but then he's got the two cards of the 21 Jaegers, each, two cards each of 21. So I think it's that kind of, I think they were calling it Balguard, where it's sort of a balanced setup, but with a Vanguard income towards the end of the pre-Burning Baltics patch. A lot of planes in A, actually. Two Focke-Wulf F8R1s, three A8s, and a Heinkel there, which is interesting that the Heinkel's in A, so going to be using that for anti-big tank duties, I guess. Does have the Marders there and the Pack 3850 as well, so kind of surprised that he decided to take a single Heinkel. Perhaps could have taken that in B instead of A, but yeah, that's just my observation, really. You guys may well think much differently. Let's head over to the right hand side. We have Koyoko Kirigiri. Hopefully that's what it, you know, I'm pronouncing it what it sounds like. He's on Vanguard income, playing the 97th Guard Stroke OV, so same income, and in fact, actually the deck, a bit more aggressive this deck, only one C-phase card, so I think both players are kind of playing with a fairly aggressive Vanguard style. I think I did say the last deck was a bit more of a Balguard, but actually, you know, it probably is more of a Vanguard style. So I expect both players to kind of try and push things early. The big thing for Koyoko in this deck is the IS-2. So he's got an IS-1 Comroti, which is big enough. And then he's got the two IS-2s in B phase. In fact, no, he's got four IS-2s in B phase. So not splitting that card into a B and C phase card, keeping both of them in B phase. That's going to be interesting because I very much doubt he's going to be able to afford four IS-2s in B phase. So I mean, perhaps he could have switched one of those cards to A phase, where his top Vanguard income is, or he could have split off into C phase, or actually just kept with two IS2s. They're quite expensive. They're at 220 points, although this might be an error actually, because the deck snapshot is taken post Burning Baltic. So the screenshot I'm looking at is post Burning Baltics, and I think the tank price has changed. So that might not be correct on the actual prices, but still, 4 IS2s in B is kind of odd on a Vanguard income, I would say. He's got the ZIS-2's guns as well, 3 in A and 6 in B. He doesn't really need all of those guns, because he's coming up against 12 Stugs, so maybe a little bit more knowledge about the kind of decks that each player's coming up against, because I think we saw in ReeF's deck, he only had that one Heinkel, and actually looking now at the 4 IS2s in the IS1, you probably do want more than one Heinkel as your kind of anti-gun platform. And then, you know, for Koyoko, Kirigiri, he's up against basically 12 Stugs. He's got IS2s, and he's up against 12 Stugs. So he doesn't need 9 ZIS-2 guns, really. So he could definitely alter that. I mean, he could theoretically take out both of those ZIS-2 guns, because the M42 gun can do the job if you give it the side shots against the Stugs. He could have tweaked this, perhaps gone for another 4-point card of infantry to give him a bit more infantry, knowing you're coming up against the Jaegers. You know they're strong at infantry. But let's remember, these guys, they are in the Steel Division 2 Boot Camp server. You know, they're fairly new to competitive, or perhaps not necessarily new, but maybe a little bit less confident, or a little bit less experienced, and so they're kind of starting out their journey in the competitive scene in the Steel Division 2 Boot Camp, in the kind of, they call it the Greenhorn section, which is like for the ultra new guys to the competitive scene. So just a few observations. You know, it's meant in a what's the word? It's meant in a nice way. I don't know. It's meant in the right way. I can't think of the word. Constructive way. Oh, I don't know. Right, so let's get the game underway. On the left-hand side in blue, to recap, we have ReeF, and he is playing the 28th Jaeger on Vanguard income. And on the right-hand side in red, we have, Koyoko Kirigiri on playing the 97th Guards on Vanguard income. So I think I actually had his name slightly wrong there. It's Koyoko Kirigiri. Oh, I'm sure I'm going to struggle. Looks like we got 2 of the 6 Stugs. So he did have 3 in 2 cards of 3 in A phase. So 2 of the 6 Stugs going down south. So it looks like a southern attack here for ReeF, going on the assault early with those Jaegers and the Jaeger Flammenwerfers. And the Ogmachikis unload amongst each other. We got Jaeger Flammenwerfers in there as well. The Jaegers are outnumbered in the centre though. They're going to go down. The Aftermachiki going into the forest, I think that's quite a good choice there. The Aftermachiki should be able to stand up reasonably well in the heavy forest, but they are going to come up against Jaeger Flammenwerfer. So just 2 Aftermachikis, could have done with maybe, 4 Aftermachikis in there, I think, covering that heavy forest, or, Sappery probably would have been good in there with the TNTs, along with a couple of flame, Ogmachiki. You know the score, guys. You know the score. Looks like we have got the early IS-1 onto the field. It's going to go in there and cover the main road in that city. Not sure I quite like that placement. I actually would have preferred it to come, down south where, you push it a bit further around and you've got some excellent sight lines onto the reinforcement roads where you just sort of stick it and forget it on that road. It's a kind of trait that the newer players get kind of used to, because it's less micro, isn't it? It's much easier to stick a tank there on the road and let it do its thing, but it's very limited sight lines. Unless something comes down that road, the IS-1's doing nothing. So if you bring it round here, you can attack with it. You can try and get it into a position where it's going to fire on the reinforcement lines, or if he did bring it round here, and he has suffered this assault in the south, actually look at that, he can cover the southern placement pretty well. So I'd like to see that IS-1 get off the road, really. IL-2M3 coming in here, trying to stick it to the Jaegers. Does hit the target, not quite get the kills, but Koyoko Kirigiri looks okay in the centre. He has picked up the flag there, although down on the southern side, obviously, the Jaegers have made it into the forest. We do have a Pack 38 in here, taking down the T-34, a couple of Sapri reinforcements. So Koyoko's doing the right thing, bringing the reinforcements in the right place. But yeah, one thing from ReeF, I think he's got the 2 Stug 3Gs and the Pack 3850. I mean, if he's making the assault in here, the Stug 3Gs should be pushing up now. Because the infantry's kind of unsupported. But he also kind of doesn't need both the Stug 3Gs and a Pack 38. If he's going to push in the attack, you know, go with the tanks, perhaps leave the Pack 38 and use the points elsewhere. Because that's a defensive weapon, but he's looking like he wants to assault with the Stugs. And there they go, moving forward. So you don't need a pack sitting back in defence when your Stugs are going to be on attack. That's just my thoughts on that little area. Koyoko Kirigiri is actually up to a 16-8 now, picking up 1, 2, 3 flags here. The ones in the forest look like the Aftermachiki have won out against the Flammenwerfers, but both Flammenwerfers, they've taken their toll. One of the Aftermachiki squads has gone down, and they're up against Jaegers here. Aftermachiki versus Jaegers. We've got a cheeky P-39Q Cobra coming in there, trying to take care of the MG42, and the sniper right on the edge of its range, just taking shots, but the Aftermachiki are going to lose out to the Jaegers. The Marder 2 is bailed out by the M42 gun and finally taken down. Nice, well, ReeF has done well taking back the position, but also Koyoko Kirigiri has done quite well actually defending up north against some fairly decent forces in there. Looks like he is going to try and get an Ognamachiki in there, but I think he's going to be out of luck now unless the Tanko Disaniki can get up as well. Then he might be able to get back into that position. That would be a much better opportunity for him. Let's just look back down south. Actually, action all over the field. The Stugs are getting into play. Like I say, the Pack 38's now kind of... It does have a somewhat of a role. It can actually shoot that T-34, and look, it is getting involved, so it is helping out. But yeah, I just... not quite sure you need both the Stugs and the Pack gun in there. Nice micro of the Focke-Wulf F8R1, but is the Cobra going to get on the back there? ReeF's trying to scissor it, and he's just going for base now though. I think he could have carried on that turn, and the P-39Q is going to get back on the back of that Focke-Wulf, but will he get the kill? Looks like ReeF is now microing it once again, and I think he should call it now. I'm not quite sure what he's doing. I don't think he's got any AA on here, and I think Koyoko's realised where that Pack 39 is. He's realised when the Focke-Wulf 190 A8 comes in, and yeah, Koyoko's done the right call there. He's called it back, and actually he's brought the Focke-Wulf over the enemy AA here, so that Focke-Wulf's now in trouble. Still got a mighty sting on it if it gets all of those guns on target onto that P-39Q. Yeah. And it's going to go down now, so gets away with that. But, yeah, I'm not sure ReeF probably should have really followed it over that Xenon 37mm. I think Koyoko, once he got the Cobra about here, he should have just called it away and left that Focke-Wulf all the way behind enemy lines. But there we have it. Nice little air engagement from both players. T-34's taking out the Stug 3G there, so they can do the job. The IS-1 still kind of sitting on the road. I'd like it to support these T-34s a bit more. You know, although I was talking about around the bottom, round the top is fine as well. I mean, look at that kind of position. Get your IS-1 into that position early on, and look at that reinforcement road there. It's completely shut off. So, yeah, I think I'd love that IS-1 to come round, support the T-34s, you know, make a push through here. If it got into this kind of position, he could reinforce that with infantry. That would be a very strong position. We got a Marder 2 in here. It's fighting off against the T-34. The Marder can do the damage. Who's going to go down? Ooh, looks like the Marder did get the kill there. Guardia DP moving forward on just a move command. Yeah, a bit of a mistake there. Should have been an attack move. Should have stopped in position to fight those Ersatz-Truppen. So yeah, slight mistake there. Tanko Disaniki did get into place up north. So that is... I think he's going to be okay there with the Molotov cocktail. Should be able to defeat the Jaeger and take back the flag up there. Koyoko Kirigiri does have the 1311. Is still under pressure down south. Looks like ReeF has made some good wins down south. The Aftermachiki, though, in the buildings, they aren't firing back. So he's going to continue on the winning streak right now. IL-2M3 is coming in here to try and attack the Sturmjäger, though. Yeah, I think Koyoko, I mean, he knew what was happening because he's ordered a bomber onto the Sturmjäger, but didn't quite take the time just to hop the Aftermachikis back into the buildings on the other side of the street, and they would have avoided losing 9 men there in those 2 squads combined. Tanko Decisive's on the way in, but the Stug is a presence there. So, luckily the Tanko Decisive's do unload. Looks like we got a Focke-Wulf 190 AH chasing again. And I'm not quite sure. Koyoko's going for the attack. I don't think he's... yeah, he's tried to call that one away now, but the Focke-Wulf's going to get behind it. No, it is going to call back. So Koyoko gets away with that IL-2. He was a bit worried. Ooh, T-34 takes down a Stug as well. So that 2 Stugs down by T-34s. And it looks like we got another 1, 2, 3 on the map. So, 2 down. 10 left to go. Aftermachiki called in, and you know, that's okay. These guys need to move into the heavy forest though, that's where they use best. But yeah, they are up against Sturmjäger. It is going to be difficult with the infantry engagement. Could be another Stug down here, but the 190 F8 is going to come in and does take out one of those T-34s. But every Stug down is one that Koyoko doesn't have to deal with later on in the game when he's got those IS-2s. But what are those IS-2s going to do if they don't face off against enemy tanks? Looks like one of those Focke-Wulfs got a nice kill on one of Koyoko's planes that came in there. I think it was a P-39. I didn't quite catch the name of the plane. I just saw it go down. I think it was a fighter bomber though, so I imagine it was a P-39. Stug 3G taking the fight to the T-34. But goes down, and the Sturmjäger does as well there. I was convinced that Sturmjäger was going to finish the job if the Stug didn't, but the Stug went down, and that's 3 Stugs down now, 9 left to go, unless we miss some somewhere. Oh, look at this little assault from the M2A1s coming through the forest. Koyoko's definitely going for the flags. I mean, he's got a 15-9 again now. Perhaps, you know, we saw this the other day when Quadryu took on Nilla. Nilla was very much sacrificing his... Ooh, P-39Q Cobra goes down to the deadly Focke-Wulf 190 A8. I mean, those 420 mils and the 213 mils, they just pack a punch. I mean, the Cobra's pretty heavy itself. He's got a 37 mil and 450 cals. But yeah, you saw the devastating power of those Focke-Wulf 190 A8s. I'm kind of surprised actually, that 37 mil. Well, I mean, it did do a lot of damage. That plane is smoking. Looks like Tanko Decisive did take back the flag from the Jaeger that were in there, and the Ersatz trooping are going to go in there, but they're going to lose out to the Tanko Decisive, and we do have the IS-1 Komrati moving now. The T-34s have gone down, and the IS-1's in not a great position really, is it? It's in a difficult position. Don't really like that position. He needs to be more in the open, fighting at longer range. Bit too close quarters there. I mean, if that Panzerjäger gets anywhere near it, it's going down. I mean, and at this kind of close range, any, you know, even a Stug can take that thing down. Maybe not frontally, but something could pop it in the side for sure. I mean, at frontally, it's going to get a reasonable amount of penetration. Guardia opened up there against the Stug 3G. We've got the T-34-85 leader Oskin fighting against the Stug right through the gap in the street there, in the houses. Ooh, doesn't quite get the hits there. And yeah, I think that was a good call from Koyoko. Well, initially I thought it was a good call. I think he just broke line of sight there. He's going back in for it. That tank's still stressed out though. I think he broke that to... Oh, he's going back and forward, look. So he is microing his tanks. Most people I don't think would go through this process. Oh, look at the IS-1 though. That is moving up to try and get the kill on the Stug 3J. Big hit there. And he should leave that tank in place now he's got the hit, because it had the accuracy. It would have got the next hit. And I'm pretty certain that Stug would have died. So I think when it had a hit like that, I think he should have left that one in place. because it's going to keep the accuracy bonus, and in fact the accuracy is going to get better. But the Stug does have the transmission damage. The IS-1 is chasing, and this is a much better play. This is a much better position for that IS-1 to be moving in. I really like this play here, and the Focke-Wulf is going to follow it through, try and take down another Cobra. Ooh, but the HS-129 comes in. The single HS-129 B3. I think it did get a couple of hits, but doesn't get the kill there. The Cobra might be able to get them on the back, but it is also smoking itself. So the Focke-Wulf 190 F8 is going to come in there, and I think that's going to finish the job on the... Oh yeah, Koyoko spotted that, and he is calling it away. I think that was a good call from Koyoko. Down south, we got some vehicles not yet unloaded, so ReeF needs to get on that job, but I'm pretty sure he... Well, obviously he was micro in the centre with the planes, and trying to take that IS-1 Komrotti down. The Stug 3G somehow still alive. Somehow still alive. And the IS-1's backed off a little bit. That's fine. I like that. It's a little bit better back here. It's got a little bit further away to the houses. But yeah, both sides... well, it's 15-9 right now to Koyoko Kirigiri. He's got 20 minutes left on the clock to hold on. It looks like Jaeger Pioneers are pushing in the forest. 2 stars. And with those satchel charges, I think they're going to be able to handle that northern forest. And then down here in the south, looks like one of the Stug 3Gs, yeah, that one went down earlier. I remember seeing that now. We've got a P39Q coming in for the strafing run, but we do have the flak 38 20mm covering. So yeah, good call by Koyoko to call that back. The Aftermachiki do pick up the surrender, but ReeF once again is in this forest. He does have a Sturmjäger here with the AT grenade, so he can take out the M2A1 pretty easily, and he's got the opportunity to push in here. Ooh, the big off map. I'm sorry guys, I'm ashamed maybe you did catch that at the top of the screen. Oh, what a shame that we missed this big off map, because it seems to have decimated absolutely everything that was in its place. And we definitely had a Stug there. We had a Panzerjäger, we had some more Jaegers as well. And I didn't realise this was the big rocket artillery. I'm not sure whether that was the very first time I've seen this on a cast actually. I've casted it actually being used. Oh, what a terrible caster I am. Look how far the Strafniki got there. Ooh, and that Pak 40. Oh, it doesn't load, but it's probably still going to go down there. It's so close to those Strafniki. And they are able to get those 13 Mosin Nagants and the 3 DP-28 machine guns on target. That Pak 40 is bound to go down, but the Focke-Wulf 190 F8R1 comes in to save the day. The T-34 should be able to deal with the Pak 40, though. It is pretty heavily stressed out as well, yeah. So that Pak 40 might get a shot off. Doesn't look like it's going to be able to. Oh, it does kill the leader there. Just in time, wow. And the P39 Q's in again, so both players, you know, heavy on the fighters here. And perhaps this is, I think this was a best of 3, I think. So I think these guys have, I'm not sure if this is the last game. Ooh, nice kill from Koyoko, finishing off the Pak 40 there with the P39Q. Good awareness to call that in, but he has left that one go. In fact, I think he's made a bit of a mistake there with the orders. Oh, but we missed a push on the south as well. ReeF did take care of the M2A1 and has managed to take the town in the southern area, but he does need to dispatch the T-34 and the Aftermachiki that are in there, so his job isn't over yet. I like that Koyoko's ordered in the Zenart 37mm because he has really struggled with those Focke-Wulfs. And now the IS-1 moves forwards, and you see what I mean about it taking up positions on the reinforcing roads, although what's happening here? Why is it not firing? Luckily that the IS-1 got away with that and was managed to bounce that Stug shot. But it has now stopped. ReeF's noticed the danger, yeah. Yeah, you see the power of cutting off the enemy reinforcement. He's now got to send his trucks. You know, he's got to hope that Jaeger doesn't die. Although the Stug is probably going to take the next round. Just. Ooh, kind of surprised that didn't go down. So I'm sure that Stug had been hit before. That must have been a miss. That must have been a miss. Looked like a hit. Looked like a hit though. Ooh, down south we got more action. Stug 3G versus T-34-76. Stug 3G gets the kill. Marder's coming down south. Yeah, he is avoiding the forest. Panzerjäger coming in to take on the after Machiki. Interesting. Will those 6 MP40s? Nope. Didn't even take out a man there. I'm pretty sure they didn't even take out the man. Look at that Stug 3G. He's trying to push forwards. Koyoko just needs to... Oh no, wait, no. These are the DP variants. For a moment there, I thought they were the Guardia with the AT grenade. I was going to say he just needs to unload right next to the Stug 3G, but yeah, he can't do that, I'm afraid. He could try and get this after Machiki, especially this one down here in the south. You know, get it up here, hop it in the building, get that Stug 3G kill quite easily. But I think he's got the infantry here to dispatch the Sturmjäger. Just needs to take care of that Stug 3G, whether that's a bombing run here from the IL-2M3 that's coming down south, or, you know, pushing the after Machiki up, or flank him round with this after Machiki. Problem is these after Machiki... Oh, no, the IL-2M3 does the job, so... yeah, he should be able to take that position back now he's dealt with that Stug 3G. That's what I would expect. Up north, we had a bombing strike from the Focke-Wulf 190 F8R1. And it looks like the Sturmjäger and Jäger Pioneer are moving forwards there. I mean, infantry opposition... Yeah, I think ReeF's got a chance here, actually, with the Panzerschreck. Koyoko's now doubling up his fighter patrols. So his combat air patrols now 2 P-39Qs. I think that's to avoid the Focke-Wulf strafing, kind of, the Focke-Wulfs that are coming in and killing those P-39Qs. They might be able to kill one, but they're not going to get through 2 in a head-on assault. So I think that's the reason. ReeF's recaptured this flag here with the Sturmjägers and the Jägers after the rocket artillery came down upon the Jägers and unleashed fire, doom and hell on the troops. Okay, in comes the Focke-Wulf 190 F8. Will it survive against the P-39Qs? I think luckily it turned into them. Oh! But the P-39Q turns and snapshots down that Focke-Wulf. And interesting that interesting Koyoko didn't go after that A8. I think he could have gone after that A8. Reinforcements up to the northern part of the map. Koyoko Kirigiri still has a 14-10 now. 12 minutes left on the clock, and right now I'd say he's in a pretty decent position. There's this 2-gun being called into the north. Yeah, that one's a bit strange. Kind of surprised by that call-in. I think he could have put it down here, you know, while he deals with the position, but yeah, kind of surprised by that order, because he's, you know, there's infantry here. He can't unload it near the infantry, and he's got a T-34-85 nearby, and, you know, I get it, I understand he's probably brought it into place in these areas here, but he's not got the position, so he can't really do that. So a bit of a strange call in there, I think. Could have saved those points for later. Now we have the IS-2 on the field. Looks like the IS-1 did go down. So a reprieve from ReeF, but he now has to deal with the IS-2. Does have some off-map down south. And yeah, from the look of the shells, the pox-marked map, it looks like that Beoschwim 210 has been used. After Machiki finally go down. And ReeF's pushing into the position once again. I think he did try and get down here earlier with the Marder. Because this kind of position down here would be kind of cool if he got into that kind of position. But yeah, for now he's dealing with what's in the town, and the tanks are supporting the infantry pretty well, so I think he's going to get this position back. At least until the T-34-85 arrives, and then I think it's dependent on the engagement with the Marder and the Stug that are down there. Where's that IS-2 going? Okay, so it don't necessarily like that position, but that might just be a call-in position. You know, again, I'd like him to try and use the IS-2s on the flanks a bit more. You know, they are susceptible to AT guns, but I think a much better position. Double strafing run from the P39Q. They can do quite a lot of damage here. Yeah, you saw it. With that 37mm. But the double Focke-Wulf comes in. Yeah, it's going to get the kill on one for sure. The other one should go away now. Ooh, he's going for the engagement. And he's going to get away with it, I think. He's not going to get away with it. I think that's going down, especially as it strays over the 37mm now. That is going down, yeah. I think that was a mistake. I think once he lost the first P39, I think the second one he should have called that away and kept with his plan of engaging 2-on-1. I think that was the plan that he had there was the right plan, but he didn't stick to it. Look, 3G moving forwards, might get an engagement onto the IS-2, and it could be quite close at that kind of range, but even that range frontally against an IS-2, it's going to be tough. Oh, cheeky surrender on the Strafniki there. Man, I think he got a bit lucky with that one. Not quite sure he should have got that surrender, but he did. The Strafniki were not. They did not want to fight any longer. The IL-2 strike coming in there. Wow, look at this Focke-Wulf way behind enemy lines. That could go down. Looks like the fight's ranging on all over the... Yeah, it did go down. All over the battlefield. These guys are fighting everywhere right now. Drop onto the T-34-85 was pretty poor, actually, from that pilot. Needs to go back to flight school or weapons school. And retrain on that... on those bombing runs, because that one definitely missed the target. Looks like the Stug is going to move into range of the T-34-85 up north. 3-star Stug 3G. Will it get the kill? Should actually. I feel... Oh, the T-34 is going to get first shot. Gets a hit. Will the Stug get the kill? No. So the Stug is going to go down, I feel like. Although the reload... Oh, the reload gets it! 3-star Stug 3G will have definitely buffed up that fire rate. Probably to like 5 rounds. Something like 9 rounds a minute. It definitely would have buffed up that fire rate. So it managed to get the second shot in before the T-34-85. Yeah, and here's this 2 gun. It's now kind of caught in a tough position there with the infantry able to fire on it. And I'm surprised. I think they're actually occupied with the... I'm not sure what's happening there. I could have sworn that didn't have 3 men. Maybe I'm becoming a terrible caster right now. So Koyoko Kirigiri still has the lead here. He still has a 13-11. He's got 6 minutes left on the clock, and it's it feels fairly even. But Koyoko still has the lead. Focke-Wulf's, yeah, the AA is definitely been a problem now. As the Opel Blitz munition truck goes down there, probably with Sturmjäger in them. And the Focke-Wulf is forced away, actually to a point where these Zenot 37s are starting to run out of ammunition. They've been firing on that many Focke-Wulfs. Ooh, that Panzerjäger is desperately close to the IS-2. If Koyoko makes the wrong move here, and I think he briefly maybe ordered a move down south, perhaps, that might have been a visual thing, but if he makes the wrong step, that Panzerjäger could get the kill. Look at the Stug coming round for the side shot. Oh, doesn't get a chance. IS-2 spots it, kills it. 1 shot, 1 kill. The IL-2 comes in for the kill. IS-2, hopefully I said IS-2 there, not IL-2, but the Focke-Wulf. Yeah, it doesn't have to stray over the enemy AA if you go into the enemy's territory. HS-129 comes in, but the IS-2 has gone down. So it looks like the Panzerjäger, I think, got the kill there from the looks of it. The way that ReeF is moving that Panzerjäger out the way. So I think he hopped out the building, got the kill with the Panzerschreck, and hot-footed it out of there. 14-10 to Koyoko Kirigiri. 4 minutes, wow, 4 minutes left on the clock, but look at this assault down south with the Jaegers. Man alive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 squads. Not quite full squads, but yeah, 100 men. 100 men assault down south, and the Stug 3G backing them up as well. The Russian infantry, they do not stand a chance right now, and this could be 1, 2, 3 flags swinging. ReeF just needs to take one of them to hold on for longer, you know, equal the 12-12, and he's going to take this flag here for sure, so doesn't even need those flags down south. And wow, if he does take all 3 of those flags down south, things could switch on a dime. He has taken 2 of them. One more and he could go to a 59. And Koyoko would be right under the cosh if that happens. I mean, look at his central force. He's really down. I mean, actually, look at ReeF's forces in comparison to Koyoko. Kirigiri, he's lost just a massive amount of forces in the last 10 minutes. Where have they all gone? I feel like it must have been the IS-2s that he's called in. And he's only really called in 1 IS-2. There's been a couple of T-34-85s gone down south. But look at this southern position. It's almost like Koyoko's gone for a break here and he's not called anything in. I feel like he must be floating points, because he's just lost so many troops. Where have they all gone? That is what I'm wondering. I don't know where this is come from. Maybe the how much does that cost? No, it's 90 points. He must have been saving troops up for another IS-2, I feel like, and he's kind of let his troops get destroyed, and he hasn't reinforced them. I feel like that has to be what happened there. Looks like the rocket artillery up north has helped him out. I don't think it's quite destroyed as much as perhaps the first one did. It's probably the same one. No, it is a different one. But a couple of Maxims being called in down south. Yeah, I understand why he did that, but there's just too much now up against those Maxims, and yeah, even the Guardia's coming up here. He's going to struggle. He has got 4 squads of them coming up. We'll have to see how he goes, but once you lose this area, getting back into it is mightily hard. And the same here as well. If you're trying to come up this hill, look at ReeF exploit the territory, push all the way through for a 15-9, and he's not even letting up down south. I mean, the income differences, the incomes are the same, but Koyoko, you know, I feel like he must be floating points for IS-2s, because the centre just feels like it hasn't been reinforced. I mean, we've just really got Ognamachikis in here, which are not going to stand up to full squads of Jaegers. And the AA is going to go down, and if he doesn't move back the remaining AA, they're going to go down as well. Yeah, really not sure what happened here for Koyoko, because I wouldn't necessarily have said he was on, you know, he was on top and there was no chance for ReeF, but I do feel like something's happened. And ReeF has just I mean, maybe we'll have a look at the the kill list, because the last 10 minutes must have been all ReeF right now, just looking at the units that are left on the map. I mean, I'm guessing he's just been reinforcing with these Jaegers that are 20-point squads. So you can get a hell of a lot more Jaegers than perhaps, you know, Guardias or T-34-85s. I feel like ReeF's been buying very cheap units. I mean, the Stug 3Gs, he's still got a couple of them around, but he's not really got many. So I think all of his units have been infantry and kind of planes from the looks of it. And finally, towards the end of B phase, perhaps Koyoko's run out of units in a way, or I'm not sure, but yeah, he seems to have collapsed here, and the Jaegers are going to come through and pick up the flag. 17-7 for ReeF right now, and 12 minutes left on the clock, but it feels all over. And the Guardians are going to come in and recover a flag, but I mean, ReeF, I think he's got this. Just the collapse from Koyoko was pretty swift, really. The Jaeger should take care of the Maxim at close range if it hops in the building with the 7 MP40s. And, you know, the GPA doesn't really have any armament, so that one's going to go down. Koyoko looks like he's doing best up north. But, you know, yeah, again, he's coming up against Jaegers with those 7 MP40s in the heavy forests. The right kind of engagement distance for those Jaegers. So the Guardias aren't really gonna, they're gonna struggle. Koyoko's pushing forwards those Guardias though, and does pick up a flag there, back to a 16-8. The Jaeger, actually, from the looks of it, oh, I think that must have come under the strafing run for the P39Q, because I can't imagine he pulled that back for any other reason. And the Jaeger does look highly stressed out there. Stug 3G going to set up on the ridge here. Pretty nice position for it. It's going to cover any reinforcements coming down this road. And yeah, nice move. Guardias, he does have, actually, to be fair, Koyoko is making a bit of a pushback here. And the fact that Stug 3G's moved out of the way of the south does give the Guardias a lot more chance down here. And they are engaging at long range against those Jaegers. So perhaps it is not quite over yet for Koyoko. But he does need to get rid of these, you know, the Stug and the Pack 40 and perhaps come in with a few more bombing runs to help out his infantry. I feel like ReeF perhaps needs some more AA. Because his flak 38-20mm has been left behind. I feel like he needs to push this up now to help support his troops, because if that Stug goes down, there's not much more support coming in there, you know, to stop the Guardias doing this, to, you know, sit at long range and just engage with the DP-28, really take down those Jaegers at long range where they're less effective. The Jaegers push back through the buildings though, take down the Maxim, and the Ford GPA is on fire there. HS129 does come in up north. The Focke-Wulf comes in and hits those Guardia. So yeah, I think good call in from ReeF there. Let's have a look at the HS129. Gets called away. I think maybe the Pack 38 finished the job off. There was a T34 at T5 up here somewhere. Guardias tackle him though at close range against the Jaegers. Don't think they're going to come off the better in this engagement. Not sure why the Pack 3850 is getting close. That thing's not going to help out. I think ReeF's made a bit of a mistake there. Could do with moving the Jaeger sharpshooting into this kind of position, helping out, and even the Ersatz trooping up there, and just re-secure this flag. I'm sure he's going to bring in reinforcements at some point. Perhaps these Ersatz trooping right here could push forwards as well. But it looks like at the moment in the skies he's doing the strafing runs with the Focke-Wulf 190 A8s, and the F8s are coming in here to try and hit the Guardia that is now being used en masse. And actually Koyoko, it's a shame for Koyoko that these bombing strikes are coming in, because it is, he is moving them on move command. They don't fight. He's actually getting away with this now because the Jaeger's up and down, but you don't really want to move your infantry on move command. And ReeF does now surrender. I'm not sure whether that was the dog there growling away. But ReeF does surrender. 35 minutes 43 seconds. Sorry, was I saying ReeF surrenders? No. Koyoko Kirigiri surrenders there. 35 minutes 43 seconds. ReeF gets the victory. Congratulations to him. 4,100 kills to 3,100 losses. Although, to be fair, until the last sort of 10 minutes, I would say, of that cast, maybe 15 minutes, Koyoko definitely gave it the beans. And I would think that a lot of that difference in kills to losses were that last sort of 15 minutes of the cast. And for a long time, Koyoko had the upper hand, and I feel like he was on the way to victory. And then there was just that collapse, wasn't there? About 25, 30 minutes into the game, probably about 30 minutes in, maybe even a little bit longer than that. I struggled to get the time right. It was the Panzer Jaeger that got the IS-2 kill in that centre town. It was the Panzerjäger. They did ultimately go down there to the Guardia DP, but yeah, maybe it's from this point onwards, like 26 minutes. There's a lot of kills there. Here's the rocket artillery. I might look back to the earlier stage to look at the kill there, although that might have been the one in the center. Let's just look back and see whether we did miss an earlier rocket artillery strike. In fact, let's go right back to the start. I don't normally look at the chronology, but I feel like this game does deserve a chronology run through. So yeah, I mean, if you look at the trades, actually, to be fair, early on in the game, there are a decent amount of trains from ReeF, so fairly back and forth. At least in the first 10 minutes, I'd say it was fairly even. I mean, look at, yeah, there's plenty of kills here from ReeF. Here's the initial riverboat attack. So a Marder 2 went down, a Stug 3G went down, and a Panzerjäger and a Jaeger. So a few kills in there. That did allow the IS-1 Komrotti to push forward a little bit, and did get into a position to kind of cover the reinforcement road for a while. So that definitely gave Koyoko an opportunity, and I think if he could have shored up the line at that point, before the IS-1 went down, it did go down to a HS-129B3 attack. And actually, to say ReeF only had one of those in his deck, he's done well to secure the kill there. And I think that thing was alive to the end of the game. So, congratulations to him. But yeah, I mean, at this point, it's still, you know, fairly even. I'd say Koyoko may be ahead here on the kill stake. Looks like he's getting more kills at this point, and there's the IS-2 going down to the Panzerjäger, and I think it's this kind of position, I feel like it might be this kind of position it switches. Here's the riverboat attack up north. Does take down the Stug 3G. We've got a few Guardia kills, so it's not quite all ReeF at this point. But yeah, it was that section there at 26 minutes. Let's see what went down here. I mean, it's just a lot of infantry, really. But if you look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 frontline infantry squads went down in 2 minutes. So that's the entire front line just decimated. I mean, if you think about it, 11 squads would generally cover quite a large distance, you know, across the front line. And I would think most of those were in the centre and the southern portion of the battlefield. So yeah, I think 11 frontline squads going down in what? 1 minute? 27:50? No, 1.5 minutes. 11 frontline squads just disappear. And I just have this feeling that Koyoko was saving for an IS-2. So he wasn't reinforcing these squads that just all died in 1.5 minutes. And then that was it. The front line was gone. And I think ReeF came in and exploited that, you know, fantastically well, especially down in the south. I mean, you saw that attack with the Jaegers down south. Just pure numbers on his side. And I think maybe that's what happened there. I feel like those 11 squads going down in 1.5 minutes, and perhaps Koyoko was saving up for a big, heavy IS-2 tank. I feel like that's what swung the game. Let's just have a quick look at the kills list for ReeF. So we got the Stug 3G. Yeah, vehicle kills, nothing out of the ordinary. Look at this Marder 2 though, Fritz. Who'd have thought it? Fritz driving the Marder 2 or commanding the Marder 2, picking up 3 T-34 kills. That's really good for a Marder 2 because, let's face it, the armour on that thing can easily get taken out by a T-34-76. So the aiming time advantage definitely paid off for the Marder 2s in this engagement. Or it paid off for Fritz anyway. What else do we have? The Focke-Wulfs were an ever-present force in the skies for ReeF. Both players actually use their planes fairly liberally throughout the game, so yeah, interesting those Focke-Wulfs did do so well though, despite the 3 Zenart 37mm guns, or were they 40mm guns? I can't quite remember if it was 37mm or 40mm. I'm sure we'll see one. 37mm, there we go. Oskin went down to the pack 40. Oh yeah, that was the pack 40 that was on one man health. I think it was on one man health. Yeah, it was. Schwarzenberger, the last man in the pack 40 squad, taking down the ace Lieutenant Alexander Pioskin there. Wow. What a kill that was. And that was, I think that was just before the deadly 1.5 minutes. The 1.5 minutes that changed the story on the Eastern Front. Yeah, and then we had the Jaegers coming in. I think this is mostly in the south, I would say. And this is probably where those 11 minutes happened. If you look at the Jaegers, they're trading at least 2-1 here in this kind of deadly 11 minutes. Deadly 11 minutes, deadly 1.5 minutes. And picking up a few last kills there. Let's just have a quick look for Koyoko Kirigiri. Let's see whether we see anything out of the ordinary. The IS-1 didn't really pay itself off, really. Just one Ersatz and one Jaeger. I feel like that spent too long on the road early on, and then he got into a nice position, but, you know, the HS-129 did take it out. And it was, you know, it's decent play by ReeF. You've got to hand it to him on that one. Especially because he only had one of those planes. The Riverboat, yeah, did get the Marder 2 and the Stug 3G. Apologies that we missed that. Oskin didn't really pay himself off there. So that was a bit of a shame for him. Looks like the planes are doing the jobs of the tanks. I guess that is a tank. It's just a tank in the sky, really, isn't it? T-34-85 killing a few infantry units. A couple of Stug 3Gs going down here and there. Oh, yeah, but yeah, I mean, the IS-2's just... The thing is, this wasn't a really big... He was only facing 12 Stugs, really, and the Marders that I didn't really count. So, yeah, the IS-2 was kind of redundant. So, I feel like if Koyoko... If in that deadly 1.5 minutes, Koyoko was saving up for an IS-2, then that probably was a mistake. Because when we were probably... Like, we were 26 minutes into the game at that point. 26 minutes into the game. He must have destroyed half the Stugs left in the game. So, I think he could have kept calling in those T-34-85s. Perhaps he ran out, but... Yeah, I feel like the IS-2, I mean, clearly it didn't... The one that he did bring in didn't do the damage. And the Panzerjäger got the kill. And too expensive when, you know, the majority of his targets were going to be infantry squads. So perhaps that's what happened. Perhaps he was saving up for that IS-2. The deadly 1.5 minutes happened, and he probably should have been reinforcing with infantry at the time rather than the IS-2. But he may have been, the thing is, he may have been running low on infantry at that point, although 26 minutes probably shouldn't have been running it low on infantry. But yeah, maybe he was just trying to save his infantry as much as possible, and it just caught him by surprise. Who knows? Who knows? But there we have it. Hopefully you enjoyed the cast. Hopefully the audio was okay. I noticed the music in the post game isn't too loud. Let me know your comments down below. I'm sure that perhaps it isn't revolutionary. I kind of was hoping it would be revolutionary. But yeah, I think we are going to get a fair bit of dog noise still around, but I think most of you understand that we're going to get some dog noise, and I think some of you actually quite like it. And yeah, I'm going to get used to the audio equipment that I've bought, and I think it is hopefully an upgrade. But yeah, I certainly haven't spent as much as originally I was thinking I would spend, and actually now I think I've probably spent around about $200. So, and that includes the new microphone and the audio interface, whereas, you know, I was expecting to, I think I put a comment up saying I was going to spend $700. So I've made a massive saving on the audio mixer. And I don't think I'm going to purchase the mega expensive one now. It depends how this cast comes out. You'll have to leave me your comments down below. Do you think it's worth $500 to make the audio better, or is the audio okay now and I should save $500? Because I'm feeling like that $500 is better in my pocket right now. Right, the dog wants to go out, I think. Yeah, he's jumping up at me. He's like, end the cast. End it. God damn it, end it. Right, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully this has been a decent experience. Congratulations to ReeF. Commiserations to Koyoko, Kirigiri. And look forward to plenty of more Steel Division 2, plenty more other action, and the final of Division 1 of the Steel Division League coming up this week, if my scheduling's right. Thanks very much for watching. I'm AngryBird. I will see you next time.